Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. You know, AI and the job market seem to be on everyone's mind these days, and you guys sent in some really interesting stuff for us to look at.
Yeah, it looks like we've got an article from the Economic Times about Klarna and some social media buzz around the same topic.
Right. It's about the CEO of Klarna, Sebastian Siemiatkowski. He's been making some pretty bold statements about AI and jobs.
Klarna's a big deal too, right? They're that buy now, pay later company.
Yeah, they're huge, valued at something like $20 billion. So when their CEO starts talking about AI taking over jobs, people tend to listen.
Definitely. And he's not just talking about it in some abstract way. He's saying AI can already do practically any job a human can.
And get this, he claims they stopped hiring humans like a year ago.
Wow, now that's a headline grabber.
Right. But here's the thing. Someone on social media pointed out that Klarna still has job openings posted on their website,
Yeah,
so there's definitely some mystery to unravel here.
a little bit of a contradiction there for sure. So let's dig into this and see if we can figure out what's really going on, shall we?
Absolutely. Let's start with the basics. What's been happening at Klarna lately?
Well, the article mentions that Klarna's workforce has actually shrunk in the past year.
Oh, really? By how much?
They've gone from 4,500 employees down to 3,500.
Hmm. That's a pretty significant drop. So is this like a mass layoff situation?
Not according to the CEO. He says it's not about layoffs, but rather attrition.
Attrition. You mean people leaving the company?
Exactly. They apparently have a pretty high turnover rate, around 20% annually.
Which isn't that unusual for the tech industry, I guess?
Right. So instead of filling those open positions, they've decided to let AI pick up the slack.
Interesting. So they're basically using AI to do the jobs that people used to do.
That seems to be the idea. The CEO even suggests that the remaining employees might see higher salaries because of the savings from not hiring new people.
Clever, if it works.
Yeah, it's definitely an incentive to embrace the AI revolution.
But hold on a second. You mentioned something about job postings still being up on Klarna's website.
Yeah, that's the thing. Someone on social media called them out on it. Apparently, there are over 50 open positions listed right now.
That does seem to contradict the whole "we stopped hiring humans" narrative.
Right. It makes you wonder if they're being a little selective with the truth.
So what's the explanation?
Well, the article does include a statement from a Klarna spokesperson.
Ah, so they addressed this.
Yeah, they clarify that they're only hiring for what they call essential roles.
Essential roles, meaning.
Mostly engineering positions, it sounds like.
So maybe those 50 open positions are all for engineers.
That could be it. But it does make you wonder what they consider essential if their CEO is claiming AI can do almost any job.
Right. It's a bit of a head scratcher for sure.
It definitely raises some questions about how much AI is really replacing human workers at Klarna.
I mean, it's one thing to say that AI can theoretically do a lot of jobs, but it's another thing to actually see it happening in practice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So is this the start of some big AI takeover? Or is it just another example of companies using technology to streamline their operations?
Yeah, I guess we'll have to keep digging to find out. But one thing's for sure, this Klarna situation is a sign of things to come.
You know what else is interesting? This whole thing with Klarna ties into a bigger trend that we've been seeing.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Remember that McKinsey report you sent over? The one from 2023 about the future of work?
Yeah, vaguely. It predicted that millions of workers would need to transition into new roles by 2030 because of AI.
Right, exactly. And maybe what's happening at Klarna is an early example of that shift.
So even if Klarna isn't completely replacing all their human workers with AI, they're still part of this larger trend of AI changing the job market.
Exactly.
I've got to say, though, even if this is part of a bigger trend that CEOs claim that AI can already do all of the jobs that we as humans can do, still sounds a bit extreme to me.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably a bit of an overstatement. While AI is definitely advancing rapidly, it's hard to imagine it being able to handle every single job out there.
Right. It's more likely that AI is getting good at automating specific tasks within jobs, not necessarily replacing entire roles.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Mm.
At least for now. Anyway.
So maybe the robot apocalypse isn't quite upon us yet.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Fair enough. But it's clear that AI is having a real impact on the job market, and the Klarna situation is just one example of that.
I think it's a good reminder that we need to be thinking about how to adapt to this changing landscape.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got this tech CEO saying they've stopped hiring humans, but they're still looking for engineers. And this ties into a larger trend of AI impacting the job market. So where do we go from here?
Well, I think the next step is to figure out what skills will be most valuable in a world where AI plays an increasingly prominent role.
So instead of panicking about robots taking our jobs, we should be focusing on how to make ourselves more valuable in this new AI-powered world.
Exactly. That's what we'll explore in the next part of our deep dive.
Sounds good to me. I'm ready to level up my skills.
Me too. Let's do it.
Welcome back. All right, so we've established that the robots aren't quite ready to take over the world, just yet anyway. But AI is definitely changing the game, so instead of freaking out, let's talk strategy. How do we level up our skills and make sure we're still valuable in this brave new AI-powered world?
That's the right attitude. It's all about understanding which skills are going to be most valuable in this new landscape. It's not about competing with AI. It's about figuring out how to work with it, how to complement its strengths. What can humans do that machines can't?
Okay, so what are these superpowers we need to unlock? Give us the cheat codes.
Well, one of the most important skills will be creativity. Thinking outside the box, coming up with innovative solutions. AI is great at processing information and following patterns, but it's not so good at coming up with truly original ideas.
So you're talking about that spark of human ingenuity, that ability to see connections and possibilities that a machine might miss.
Exactly. AI can help us implement those creative ideas. But the initial spark, the vision that needs to come from us humans.
Right, so we can use AI to help us bring our ideas to life. But the ideas themselves need to come from us. Got it. What else? What other skills should we be focusing on?
Critical thinking is going to be huge. AI can analyze data, provide insights, even identify potential biases. But it's still up to us humans to interpret those results and make judgments.
So it's about going beyond the surface level,
Yeah.
questioning assumptions, connecting the dots, making sure we're not just blindly following the algorithm.
Exactly. We need to be the ones asking why and what if,
Yeah.
not just accepting the AI's output as gospel.
It's like having a superpowered research assistant. AI can do the heavy lifting, but we need to be the ones directing the investigation and drawing the conclusions.
That's a great analogy. And then there's another crucial skill that we haven't touched on yet, emotional intelligence.
Ah, yes, the human touch. I can definitely see how that becomes even more important as AI takes over more of the technical tasks.
Exactly. AI might be able to mimic human emotions, but it doesn't actually experience them. Empathy, compassion, building genuine connections, those are things that AI still struggles with.
So as workplaces become more automated, those human relationship skills become even more valuable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially in fields like healthcare, education, leadership. Anywhere where you need to connect with people on a deeper level.
And let's not forget about adaptability, right? The world of AI is constantly evolving, and the job market is going to keep shifting as a result.
That's right. Being a quick learner, being comfortable with change, embracing new technologies, that's going to be a major asset.
It's not just about what you know right now. It's about your ability to keep learning and evolving as the technology changes.
Exactly. And remember that social media comment about learning AI skills. It's not necessarily about becoming a coding expert overnight. It's about understanding how AI works, its potential applications, its limitations.
Right. The more we understand about AI, the better equipped we'll be to work alongside it.
Exactly. It's about collaboration, not competition.
So it's not just about technical skills. It's about having the right mindset.
Right. A mindset of curiosity, a willingness to experiment, a passion for lifelong learning.
Be open to new possibilities, try new things, don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone.
Exactly. Now, we've talked a lot about the why and the what, but I think it's time to start talking about the how. How do we actually put these skills into practice in the real world?
That's a great question. And that's what we'll be exploring in the next part of our deep dive. We'll look at some concrete examples and practical strategies. So don't go anywhere. All right, so we've got our AI profess on. We're loaded up with creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, ready to take on the world. Now, how do we actually put all of this into practice?
Right. It's time to get down to brass tacks and see how this plays out in different fields.
Give us some examples. What does this actually look like?
Okay, well, let's start with healthcare. Imagine you're a nurse. AI can already do a lot of the heavy lifting, like monitoring patient vitals, flagging potential issues, and even handling some administrative tasks.
So that frees you up to spend more time actually caring for the patients.
Right, exactly. Instead of being bogged down with paperwork and routine checks, you can focus on building rapport, providing emotional support, really focusing on those human interactions that AI just can't replicate.
Makes sense. So it's not about AI replacing nurses. It's about AI helping nurses do their jobs better.
Precisely. It's about leveraging AI's strengths to enhance, not replace the human element.
Okay, so healthcare is one example. What about education?
Education is another great example.
Right.
AI can personalize learning plans, track student progress, even grade assignments. But can it inspire a student? Can it foster a love of learning?
Probably not. AI can deliver the information, but it takes a human teacher to really make that information come alive.
Right, to connect with students on a personal level, to mentor and guide them.
So even in a world of AI-powered classrooms, there's still a vital role for human teachers.
Absolutely.
Huh.
What about those traditionally creative fields, like writing music, creating art, even crafting scripts? Everyone's talking about AI doing those things now.
Right, but can AI really replace human artists?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. AI can certainly create things, but true artistry, the ability to evoke emotions, to tell compelling stories, that still comes from the human heart and mind.
So even if AI can create, there's still a demand for human artists who can bring that emotional depth and originality to their work.
Absolutely. And then there's fields like marketing and sales. AI can analyze data, identify trends, even personalize ad campaigns. But it's still human creativity that comes up with those catchy slogans, those innovative marketing strategies, those persuasive sales pitches.
So it's like AI handles the data and targeting, while humans focus on the creative storytelling and building those authentic connections.
Exactly. It's a partnership.
And this brings us back to Klarna, doesn't it? Remember, they're still hiring for those engineering positions.
Right. Maybe that's because they need human ingenuity to design, develop, and refine the very AI systems that are transforming their business.
So even companies that are embracing AI still need skilled humans to make it all work.
Exactly. And as AI gets more sophisticated, those roles are likely to become even more specialized, even more in demand.
Which brings us back to the importance of lifelong learning.
Absolutely. The skills that are hot today might be obsolete tomorrow. The ability to adapt and evolve will be crucial.
So it's not just about acquiring a specific set of skills, it's about cultivating a mindset of continuous learning, being curious, being adaptable, always seeking out new knowledge and challenges.
That's the key. Embrace the change. Lean into the unknown.
And remember, AI is a tool. It's up to us to decide how we use it, how we shape our future alongside it.
Well said.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with this thought. In a future where AI plays an increasingly prominent role, what skills will you choose to master? Think about it, explore it, and shape your future with intention. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.